Wuthering Heights.
Oh, look at that beautiful poster there.
Tell me the story of Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights. Well, this takes place long ago. I can't tell you when. Margot Robbie is Catherine, and Jacob Elordi is Heathcliff. Kathy lives with her father, a lord who owns a mansion of sorts, but is not making much money. So he's squandering his wealth. Let's put it that way. At one point, the father is asked to take in a boy who has been abandoned, and he says yes. Takes him in, and as children, Catherine and Heathcliff are look, it's a Brady Bunch situation. They're kind of brother and sister, but ultimately they fall in love. And as her father's financial position weakens more and more, next door to them is a duke or something, Edgar, who moves next door. He is rich. She courts him a bit, and they wind up getting married. But Heathcliff is in love, and before she accepts the engagement, she has to make the decision: do I marry the Edgar for money, or do I marry Heathcliff for love? She chooses money and realizes immediately that she made the wrong choice. But Heathcliff overheard that, heartbroken, he runs off. And so now they're two split, and she gets married and lives a good life. But then Heathcliff, who is a poor little boy, comes back with money. And now the choice has to be made. Do I ditch my husband for Heathcliff, or do I continue to go the way things are? And I should mention this is written and directed by Emerald Fennell.
Emerald Fennell, who did that movie that I despised called Saltburn.
Yeah. But she also did Promising Young Women.
Promising Young Woman, Saltburn, and now Wuthering Heights. This movie, by the way, I'm surprised you didn't point out that this movie is very diverse. There is a consequential role, Nellie, played by Hong Chow.
Yes.
Yes. So
yes. Well, look,
even Edgar. I think Edgar is he Indian? Indian descent.
I'm pretty sure he is Indian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just from the name alone, but they explain it. Nellie's father had an affair because he has an Asian fetish, and she was born from it, and that's how come she's Asian.
Yeah. So in any case, if you like Saltburn, if you like Promising Young Woman, you're gonna love this. It's a weird thing because it's like those Harlequin romances. It's very sweeping, very, very melodramatic. It's all about your status in society. And Heathcliff goes off. He runs away, heartbroken, returns 5 years later, a gentleman, having made money abroad, having had adventures. And, Margot Robbie's character, Kathy, is heartbroken. They have a torrid affair, and it ends as it ends as it does in the book. If you know the book, you know how it ends. If you know other versions of this movie, you know how it ends. The thing that's different about this incarnation is all the fetishy, weird sex stuff throughout. Uncomfortably weird fetish sex stuff. There's a whole thing with snails, and that snails leave these wet snail trails, and like there's just this imagery that evokes raw fetish BDSM sex in the middle of what should be an innocuous there's a sex scene normally in romantic films they fade to black, leave it to your imagination. Well, in here you don't see anything graphic. There's no nudity, but there may as well have been. I mean,
that would have made it better. Let's just say.
Yeah, Heathcliff ends up marrying Isabella Linton, which is Edgar's sister, and they end up having this bizarre like S&M master slave relationship. that they make no bones about with chains. She acts like a dog. It's weird. So you have this sweeping classic romantic novel, classic movie being remade, but with this underneath the surface toxic relationship, fetish, sex. It was like, what? So what did you think, Alan? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I love Promising Young Women.
Okay. I did not.
I did not like Saltburn. It just went too dark and too deep.
Yeah.
I hate Wuthering Heights. I hate this movie with such a passion. I mean, I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm taking my wife to see this movie tomorrow. It's just not gonna happen.
Did you did you should tell her like
Yeah.
like why you don't want her to see
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So, just full disclosure, I've never read Wuthering Heights. I don't know anything about Wuthering Heights. And I think that was my problem, not knowing what I was in for, because it sets up this beautiful romance right up from the very beginning. You know, she's kind of the Catherine is that woman who, you know, loves another man, loves Heathcliff, but shows it by negging, basically,
Yeah.
by just being mean and brutal to him, and that just fuels his passion for her. And then so I'm going, okay, I get it. Okay, so you know, she loves him, but she can't show, the only way she can show love is by being mean to him. And I'm like, okay, I've seen that before. And then we get into the second half when she marries. Edgar is a really nice guy. He is a guy you would want to marry. He has money. He loves his wife. He doesn't cheat on her. Then Heathcliff comes back, and as everything you said now describes what this movie becomes. And so this movie takes a massive shift, and one that I wasn't expecting, one that I wasn't prepared for, and one that really made me hate these two characters. And I from what people tell me, that's kind of the book. But you know, they set me up by really liking them, and then they bring me into really hating them.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're both cruel to each other.
yeah,
I mean,
and
horribly
then
cruel.
right, and then let's bring Emerald Fennell into this. Then when they start hating each other, the tone of this movie shifts drastically. For example, there's all this mood lighting in this castle that doesn't have electricity. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
the
I'll forgive.
there's a scene that involves leeches that is like, so we're just gonna make artwork out of this. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
your
It's
deal?
very weird the way they
And
position the
then let's
leeches.
just say the final scene with Catherine becomes this I mean, this beautiful bloody piece of art. And that when we see her again, everything's cleaned up. I mean, I'm like, oh, I hate this movie.
It's
I
yeah.
like I said, I could see Saltburn again. I will never see this movie again.
Well, I think there's a good movie in here if they had pulled back on
Mhm.
those suggestive scenes. They got really uncomfortable. It
Yeah.
was just, I mean, just it got weird, like weird, not in a good way. And I like weird films. This is not one I care to ever see again. So I think it's a no recommend from Alan and I on this one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't. I mean, the hatred I felt after watching this movie was unbearable.